Welcome back, everybody. It's time to start the show. 8 o'clock on the 10th of February. I got stuck in traffic for an hour. I'm not going to talk about it, though. So, how are you all doing tonight? I hope you're having a great time. Like I said, it's a Monday. I don't know what I just said, but I should probably point that out. So let's start the week as we mean to continue. Okay. So, we got some cool stuff to show off. A couple of projects I've been working on long term, actually, which I've just cracked. And we've done it all with O3 Mini. Also, somebody made a request. They want me to take a look at a workflow. So I'm probably going to take a look at that and adapt it for, our own purposes. So apparently there's some problem with it. So we're going to take a look at it, understand it, pull it apart. So that'll be the ComfyUI section. But yeah, glad to be back. Brand new week. Don't forget, you can join the Discord. All you got to do is use the link in the description. Okay. Tonight we're going to be doing a little bit of VS Code with Klein. I've currently got a Gradio which I've been working on for weeks, which is finally working now. So I get to show that off, which is going to be a little bit of fun. We're then going to do some housekeeping by adding some of the new nodes that people in the community have made to the new pack. We'll then update a version of that. And then it will be time for ComfyUI, and we'll jump in there. And then for the last part of the stream tonight, what I plan to do is basically show you the process of scoping out something fun that you might want to build into either a Gradio or a custom node. I generally use the Gradio first so I can prove that it works, but I'll show you how you can do everything with CLI and batch files, which is just as easy for proving that a function is actually going to work properly. Okay, so here we go. Monday the 10th. Isn't it crazy? It's already the 10th of February. It feels like it was only 2025 not so long ago. Right. Wave emoji, says Electrolab. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. So then, with a nice tight intro done, I'm going to disappear, but I'm still here. Starting a little bit late, so I bet people are confused. They probably didn't think there was going to be a show tonight. But I wouldn't call it off for the world. If I can get here, it's happening. So, and like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video that we put out on the TTS nodes today. Don't forget about that. There is a new video. New nodes from DJZ, TTS tools. So obviously we were building a bunch of things like that. So let's just give you a little bit of insight as to what we're doing here, yeah? So as you can see here, what we have is a project. Now, if you remember, I made Careless Whisper a couple weeks ago, which was my whisper to text tool that put the output of what you say into a copy text buffer, yeah? So you say something, and then you can paste it into any application. That's what that one does. And it uses tiny or medium whisper. Okay. And then we have Kokoro TTS, which essentially takes a text input and turns it into speech as an audio file, right? And then we have my Ollama local Gradio. And people were like, why did you build this? There's already so much better, Ollama Gradios and whatnot. Why? And I was like, because I wanted to prove that I could get the basics down so that I can make this. These are all 3 pieces. And the funny thing is that the prompt that I used in the end was mirror the functions. Not, because otherwise what it kept doing when I tried to combine them, it kept referring to them. Okay? So for the longest time, I kept failing, the project kept failing because it was actually still referring to these files, so they had to be included. I was like, no, I want this to be an entirely new project which uses the functions of these projects as pages and passes it from, so basically you talk, it puts it through the model on your local machine, and then it speaks. You have to push lots of buttons at the moment to make it work, but I feel like this is sort of like a landmark step in the right direction. So let me just show you how it works. Obviously you install, and the funniest part was that I had to un-UV it because my Kokoro, no wait, yeah, I think Kokoro uses UV to install. The nodes were un-UV'd, so I went back to the pip install method, okay? Anyways, so what I'm saying is it was getting confused about that as well. Few ins and outs, but let's show. So I said, what is the capital of France?
What is the capital of France?
Wow, that's a really bad quality mic. I need to get my mic closer to me next time I do a request. And it's transcribed it to, what is the capital of France? Okay? Now, by accident, I had it on Llama 3.2 Vision, but you can still talk to him, okay? And he's responded. So, you know, obviously what we've done is, this is speech to prompt. Here is the Ollama settings, okay? The capital of France is Paris. And then we'll say, response.
The capital of France is Paris.
There you go. So it works. And I'm ready to publish. Fernicar says battle cruiser operational. It most certainly is, and we're hitting off the show running with, you know, the trifecta. We're going to publish this one tonight. It's going to be called Speak to Me, and I appreciate this could probably be better, but I want to provide something simple that everybody can just copy from, fork, build, make other things, because the fun part about this one is it only actually downloads the Whisper model and the Kokoro model, which are both tiny. Like the tiny Whisper is 88 megabytes, and then tiny Kokoro I think is, well, there is a tinier quantized one which I'm not using. I'm using the FP32, which is 300, but you can use the FP16 and just rename it. That's a little trick. To use the smaller one, but we're basically talking about 400 megabytes of overhead plus whatever Ollama model you pick, so it's quite lightweight. I have had different versions where it like does it all automatic and stuff, but this is the best one so far. It actually does work. So what I'll do is I'm gonna grab my microphone here and ask him something a little bit more interesting. Let's say, okay, I'm going to say, explain to me in basic terms, what is the concept of a bull market? Okay. So we can pre-transcribe it as well before we push the pipeline, which is quite nice, because you might decide that actually it didn't catch what you said. So it did catch what I said, so we can run the pipeline. Now, I probably should have changed the model to DeepSeek or something. So we're going to be asking Llama 3.2 Vision 11 billion instruct Q4, which is actually kind of nice. But anyway, it's the first one in my list. This is basically populating a list of the models that you have installed on your machine. So as long as you've got Ollama running, you can open up this web UI. And obviously you've got to have put Kokoro and voices.bin in the right place. Just trying to think. I think it automatically downloads Whisper somewhere to like a Hugging Face cache on your machine, so you don't need to worry about that. All I need to do is test that it still works if I get rid of these folders, because they shouldn't, it might be lying to me. So that's the next thing I got to test. But it's working. Okay, so here we go. Look, it's given me a big old thingy. So let's go to response to speech. Wow, we got 1 minute and 12 seconds. So I can pick the voice I want. Well, I should have already picked the voice I want. No voice blending in here yet or anything.
A bull market is a period of time when the stock market or economy is doing well, and prices of investments like stocks, bonds, or real estate are rising. Think of it like a bull is an animal that charges forward with strength and confidence. In the context of investing, a bull market means that investors feel confident and optimistic about the future, so they are more likely to invest their money and buy stocks.
Okay, so basically I'm just going to download that and I'm going to throw it into the general section on our Discord, so if you want to listen to that at leisure, you're welcome from the live show. And I'm just going to say, what is it? That was Llama 3.2 Vision Instruct. I think it was like 11 billion. Llama 3.2 11 billion Vision Instruct Q4. There you go. And I'm going to call it Speak to Me. Web UI. There we go. Right, now then, let me just move that. Okay, right, now as it comes to different voices from different places, there is a big old list of them, okay? It's not complete, okay? But these are the things which I plan to do manually. I got to add those sorts of things in. But this is now working. It's now working. It's working and stable, which I'm really happy with, because I developed this on my Chromebook, okay? And then I got it to the point where it said it was working, right? But I had no way of actually testing if it worked. And then I had to bring it here, okay? Let me have a look at this. Arthur's VFX says, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Fernicar says, liked and subscribed. Thank you very much. Full Dive Media, hi, how are you doing today? Cheers, Full Dive. Glad to see you so early in the stream. Like I said, I'm starting late today, so maybe that's a little bit easier. Electrolab says, hello to Full Dive. And that's it. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you if you're watching live or if you're watching later. What we're going to do is we're going to step through what this actually is, how you can do it. And like I said, I did it on a Chromebook. That's a dual core CPU with no GPU, okay? Because I wanted to see how far you can actually go with this. And I think this is a revolution, to be honest. It's a completely new way of looking at code. You know how we used to generate images, and we generate images and we pick the best one? Imagine if every image was a version of the software you were building. And it's kind of crazy because you could generate, you know, many versions of the same software over and over and again. And it's kind of like, because it's AI, they're not all the same. And sometimes a concept I've been coming to look at is it can one-shot the code. It can. So it's usually a case of what's your prompt, or it's usually a case of what's your prompt, or maybe it was a bad seed. And this is just a crazy concept, like it was a bad seed. Do you know what I mean? Like imagine if I hand built a website and then I just was like, oh, bad seed, and just started again from scratch. This is the world, you know, we're sort of walking into. And like I said, if I look at this here, this is my Olama local, this is my Kokoro, this is my Careless Whisper. So these are three of my projects which you can find up on repositories, GitHub, Mushroom Fleet. So you can see they're all here, okay? So the process is you close folders, open folders. I created a new folder called Talk to Me. It was empty. I then opened a terminal and just typed in the terminal git clone the URL for that one, git clone the URL for this one, git clone the URL for this one. And what I'm going to be doing when I show you is I'm going to be constantly saying this Gradio and this Gradio and this Gradio. So I'm going to be like referring to these scripts and essentially saying to him, look, we need to take the functions of each of these, make them separate tabs, and then combine it all into a brand new Gradio called Speak to Me. Now, I appreciate we could make this a lot better, okay? But this is 100% local. Let's have a look at the comments. Deshaun Rodriguez says, good afternoon. Any recommendations for cloud services? My PC is not very powerful and I live in Venezuela. Internet access and power stability are not very good. Full Dive, live long and prosper. Okay, so to you, Mr. Rodriguez, any recommendations for cloud services? Right, well, It's kind of a tough one. I mean, for the longest time, I used Google Colab because you can, with small projects where you're just putting code together, you can do all kinds of different code projects with Google Colab, and you can learn a lot really fast. Also, you can do small fine-tuning notebooks. If you buy the Pro version, they'll even let you train for 24 hours with like an H100, well, A100. I don't know what the new ones they have are now. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's a viable thing. You know what I mean? You can build up your own code and run your own AI projects on Colab, but it's more of a development platform. It's not really supposed to be like a permanent solution that you would like deploy to other people, if that makes sense. Then there's a company like RunPod, which would allow you to use Docker, so people will make Docker containers that contain things like ComfyUI and other various automatic and all these things, and then you can run that. But again, the problem if you haven't got good internet, cloud services might not be. You said internet access and power stability are not good, and this is one of the reasons why I'm showing what I'm showing now. Less with what we're looking at with how I've built it, but certainly with how it works. Okay, so this has a local model for speech, so it does the speech transcription with a local model. This Olama is talking to AI model, which is on your local machine, and then response is also the TTS is also using a local model on your machine, so it's 100% offline. This is okay, and I believe you can even run Olama in CPU mode. It might even be slow. It might be slow, but I believe you can run this. Certainly you can run the speech to prompt, and the Kokoro will fall back to CPU. The Olama, I'm not sure. But as far as I know, I mean, look, it's good to have a GPU, right? But I believe that over the next year, we're going to start seeing the local GPU setup being viable, fully viable compared to the cloud. Because the cloud is always going to be ahead, but it's almost like the level of standard that the cloud is at now, I think that we're going to end up with in a year or less. I think that's the growth right now, yeah? Like, obviously, the cloud will have become 10 times better, you know what I mean? Longer videos, higher resolution videos. But I think that's what's going to happen. That's the trend, right? But certainly, RunPod, if you want to just do containers with a big GPU in the cloud, and obviously you can start a job with low, because it's all on their infrastructure, so you don't need good internet to run it. You just need enough internet to get in there and set it up and be able to log into it from time to time, and then you shut it down when you're not using it. So it's like a virtual container on their platform. RunPod is great for that, and then obviously Google Colab if you just want to dabble. Deshaun says, I've done some tests on my PC with Olama and Comfy. Yeah, to be honest, Comfy has Olama nodes, and this is one of the reasons why I made my Kokoro node, because you can actually go in Comfy with my Kokoro node and then hook it up to the existing Olama nodes that you can get on the manager. And if you've got Olama running on the machine, you can just go ahead and start prompting and it'll talk. You know what I mean? You can do that. And this is where I thought to combine it with Whisper thing. But anyway, back to how we actually did it, because it's really quite interesting. Like I said, I told you already, I git cloned the 3 previous projects. One of them just does Whisper, one of them just does Kokoro TTS, and the other one just does an Olama bridge. So, you know, it's a Gradio that allows you to do prompting, and it knows what the models are and things like that, right? Okay. So obviously to make it all into one, there was some wording, because it didn't work. It kept not working, right? And I kept on getting these errors. And so in the end, I found some strange terminology that I could use, right? Where is it? Yeah, so look, it's giving me weird errors, okay? And not working, basically. So if I just go here, look. The revised file integrates TTS functionality inline using Kokoro ONX and sound file without calling external scripts This unified implementation mirrors the logic of separate templates. The wording, it's all about the wording. I kept on saying extract the functions from, right? But if I had said mirror the logic of, if I just said that, because I said here are 3 templates. This template is for this function, whisper, and, you know, recording the audio. This template is for Olama, which, you know, you can use the text and prompt and get a text back, okay? And then this script, let me just show you. So I was like, this Gradio contains the whisper function, which we will use to send the resulting text to the Olama function, which will prompt the local model that's selected and generate a response, which we will send to the Kokoro function, which will say, you know what I mean? That's what I was doing. I'm just chaining the things together, okay? Because we've done all of this 100% with Klein, and at the moment we're using O3 Mini, but we started off with Claude. We did a bit of deep seeking in the middle. You know, it's been fun, but this combination one was actually something Claude couldn't do, and O3 Mini's just done it. So, but yeah, like I said, I never used that wording. Okay, so what I should have done is I should have just said, here are the 3 examples, read them and understand what they do. Now, without calling external scripts, mirror the logic of the separate Gradio templates, allowing Speak to Me to project as a standalone app. That was the key. This is why I'm showing this to you, because it's a big deal, I think. Like, it's all about the wording, you know. And the funny thing is that was all you needed. I didn't need anything else. Show him the 3 that work, and then say the rest. Now, obviously, I went through all kinds of steps to get here. Okay. See, like, for example, for some reason, Kokoro Gradio actually calls hello.py, which has a save function in it, which I have parameterized, right? Which is a really weird way of doing it. And so obviously it was trying to like do that. So I had to say, no, don't do that. This is all planning. See, I do planning, and I have a proper go at him. I say, look, you should not be importing. Because that's the thing. I found out at the last minute, he was still trying to import an entire Gradio. You know, instead of actually doing what he was told, he was just like, well, why do I need to take the code when I can just include this code and then I can just run the function? It's quite lazy sometimes, actually. I mean, it would work, but it's not clean, if you see what I mean. But anyway, now we get to do the fun task. Now, I think I might... Should I show you? No, I don't even... Because that's the funny thing. I did it on a Chromebook. So nuts. It's so crazy. So I had a zip file, you know, here. No, not that one. That's the one that works. But yeah, I had it on a zip file where I did it with O3 Mini on a Chromebook with a dual-core processor. So like a $100 laptop. I had a $100 laptop which has... It's got Chrome OS, but you can install Linux, which means you can install VS Code, which means you can run Open Router API, which means you can now build software with O3 Mini on like the cheapest laptop on the market, just on Wi-Fi. And like I said, look at this cost here. Less than a cent, 1.5 cents, 1.2 cents. It's cheap. What? Not, 0. Look, a tenth of a cent to write that README the other day. It's just like not even actually money. You know, like when you've written your 10th README, that'll cost you 1 cent. I'd pay that to never have to write documentation ever again. An intentional sound dip there for the emphasis. Okay, let's see what comments. Rodriguez, let's see. Yes, well, the idea is something to start and develop. Until now, I've only found services that charge continuously. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, the other thing about Colab, which is quite nice, is you can have it set up on your machine and you can actually use the local option. So you can do local option and develop everything for free. And then when you want to plug a big GPU into it, stop the instance, select the GPU that you're paying for on Colab from whatever membership tier you have, and then just run it again. And then it's like, do you know what I mean? It just makes it cheaper. Anyway, you can also do that for free on Colab though. You know, you can be a free user of Colab. You just can't think that you're going to do anything big with it. You know what I mean? You can just do a lot of like starting stuff, a lot of little experimental research you can do for free, just with the CPU. Sometimes they give you limited use of a T4. But yeah, Colab and RunPod are my two big boys. I mean, there are lots of other options, okay? There's like foul.ai, but that's more specific to the field of generative imaging and video and things like that. So there's a whole bunch of places you can go. It's a big ecosystem. So anyway, okay, so the first thing that's wrong with this, no, not that, well, actually, I do need this open, is that these are the list of names, right? And you'll notice that in the one I have, my list of names is not complete. So here's the list of names according to, and you've got to put it in twice by the looks of it. Is the formatting the same? Yeah, it's the same. It's just the same list twice. And then if I just check this one, yep, the format's the same. So what we'll do is we'll just take the complete one and pop that in there, which is relatively easy if you've ever modded Minecraft. Okay. Oh no, it's broken! Errors! He's broken it. Okay. Save that. Right, so now we've got all of our languages. We don't have... wait. Should I put Chinese mail in? Because I remember they break things. Chinese mail breaks things. Yeah, I'm going to remove Chinese mail. Now, just in case you're not familiar with code, and you probably really should read up on this stuff, but often you will break things with having a comma in the wrong place. It's a very common thing. A very common thing is commas in your arrays, okay? The thing is, some types of array require a comma for every line, and some types of array don't. This is one that doesn't, yeah? So that means that if we were going to remove these male Chinese languages here, ZMs, right, we're going to have to remove that comma. So these are the sorts of things that kind of blow up the code if you're not careful. And we're going to have to do it with both sides. I know this, we don't really like teach code here or anything, but just little things to be aware of. You got to mind your commas. As you know, it's just like brackets. You got to mind your brackets. Everyone knows that. And your quotes. You got to watch your quotes. But anyway, quotes and brackets. Watch your commas. Okay, so hopefully we didn't just break everything. There's no errors showing up, so hopefully I can still write JSON. It looks like it, JSON. So now we've restored all of the voices on there. Let me just take one last look at this beast. Maybe they speak quietly, so you just don't hear them. It has no Spanish. Yeah, I know. But here's the fun part, right? Right now, we've only got Kokoro, right? But what if I was like... Anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself, okay? Because like I said, this was pretty ambitious, putting these three together and having it work. Look, I know you've probably seen... I've seen it be done, and in different ways. But I wanted to know, can O3 do it just from me saying please? And it can. I just said please, okay? I said please for the other three too. This is the fun part. These three were also built like this. So we built this bit, made sure that core works. Built this bit, made sure that core works. Built this bit, made sure that core works. Done a whole bunch of other stuff with them too, but combined them now. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll just restart it. Another thing I started doing was telling him to run my batch file instead of him trying to do it how he wants. Zaishan says something funny is that AIs eventually learn all the languages on their own. Yeah, it's true. I mean, you know, it's just a language to them, right? They're better at learning languages than me. But yeah, so often things start off with a GUI. I like to mess around with Python scripts, but sometimes I find it annoying to, you know, remember all of the, you know, parameters. It gets a bit annoying and like heavy. So I like, you know what? GUIs. Yeah. So Gradio's easy. It pretty much just converts what you wrote into that anyway. And then, like I said, from there, you're like, ah, well, now I know this actually works. I can, like, use that. So, anyway, long story short, mirror the logic of the separate. So you could use scripts, so it doesn't need to be Gradio templates. But, yeah. So, yeah, this was it. Mirror the logic. Okay, mirror the logic. Don't extract the functions. Don't copy the code. Don't say include, because he'll definitely do it the lazy way then. So it's like the language of how you ask for things will massively impact what you actually get from this. And so, like I said, mirror the logic. So he's just going to write a new script with the same code in his head. That's what he heard. Do you know what I mean? It's a very clean way of telling him to do what you want without him, like, because at first what he was doing is he was like, he just included the other scripts. He didn't even rewrite it at all. So, but anyway, that was the main thing. I don't want to go on about it. We do need to test if we have all the voices. So let's just refresh, and I'll try. Oh, forgot to start it up again. Yeah, that was the other thing. If you start it up here, he's kind of semi-aware of the bugs. If it crashes, you can just copy it straight in. But if you have him run the Gradio bat, when it crashes, he'll be like, I've detected an error and I'm going to fix it now. And it saves you the journey. It saves you the trouble. Like, I haven't actually copied errors for a while because I've been getting used to this way of doing it, where the error will appear here. And so he'll just automatically act, you know? Anyway, so I'll put him in plan mode for now, shall we? So let's see if we've got those voices now. And we do. So I'm going to pick Sky, and I'm going to say I need a new question. Okay. I'm trying to plan a report on Neil Armstrong. I believe he was related to a moon mission. But could you do a plan and write a report for me on this man? Number 1, plan the report. Number 2, write the report. Number 3, validate what you wrote in my report against your knowledge base. That was shaky. I probably could do a second take on that. Let's see how good I got. I think I like... Number 1, plan the report. Number 2, write the report. Actually, it came through super clean. Could you do a plan and write a report? Do you know what? He nailed it. Oh, let's just make sure we put it through DeepSeek R1 1 billion Q8. Okay, so we've made a little change. And then, do we still have a system prompt? You are a helpful AI assistant. Hang on. You are a helpful AI. Well, actually, that's perfect, isn't it? That is, yeah. You're a helpful AI. Yeah, okay. All right, I can just run it from any page, I think, as well. Let's test that at the same time. Okay. Now, another thing is, it's actually logging everything. So we got all our inputs and we've got all our prompts, and then we've got our audio outputs. He should have been saving the audio. He should have been saving the output as text. Ah, wait. Transcript recording. What is the code? Default model not found. Oh, sheesh. Oh, sheesh. Capital of France is Paris. Bull market. Number 4. Any what? Number 4, add any additional information if needed. Let's start. Wait, what? He added his own extra thing? So first I need to figure out where Neil Armstrong is from. Oh, right, so he's thinking about it. So we get to hear his thinking because this is a broken, uncensored model and it doesn't have think tags. Now, there is another process that happens here. I've stripped out non-alphanumeric characters. So when it gets to the TTS, there's a small function which is removing anything which he shouldn't read out loud. So I don't know if that actually works. Let's see. Looks like it's running. So yeah, like I said, this has been something I've been trying to dream up for at least a week, maybe 2. And like I said, it failed with DeepSeek, it failed with Claude. But then again, like I say, it could have just been that my wording was bad. Okay, so here we have it.
Number 4, add any additional information if needed. Let's start. Alright, so first I need to figure out where Neil Armstrong is from. He was born on July 29, 1923. So he was born in California, USA, right? Wait, no, that doesn't sound right. I thought someone else was a baby from California. Maybe it's another place.
What?
Wait, let me think again. The US population in 1940 had about 18 million people. So maybe not a single person from California, or perhaps been mixing up with someone else. Wait, no, actually the name Armstrong is associated with the Apollo mission, but he was born in another place. Wait, here's an idea sometimes. Names can be tricky because of different accents or languages. Perhaps it's American Indian? Wait, no, that doesn't seem right either.
She's like
Honey,
constantly checking herself.
But since I can't access the internet, I have to rely on my knowledge. Alternatively, perhaps he was born in New Mexico. Oh wait, yes. That makes sense because New Mexico is a state in the US where astronauts were often raised and worked for. I remember hearing that Neil Armstrong's family moved there. So, if I'm correct, his birthplace is New Mexico, USA. So, to start with, number 1, plan the report. Let me structure it with an introduction about Neil Armstrong's significance, a section on his early life, a part on his time in space, and a conclusion. That seems logical. Number 2, write the report based on that plan. I need to cover all the points I mentioned earlier.
She hasn't even started the report yet.
Information or historical context if necessary. Number 3, validate against my knowledge base. So, after writing the report, it'll check
I know.
for accuracy.
I can write a, you know, a think block splitter, but I want it to work with any model, so.
About his early years, his family background, or other space-related events he was involved in beyond the Apollo missions. All right, let's start drafting the report based on my plan. Think report on Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong is a significant figure in modern science, best known for his contributions to humanity through the Apollo space exploration program. This report provides an overview of his life and achievements. Introduction: Neil Armstrong was a renowned American astronaut who played a pivotal role during one of the most profound space explorations of all time. His work laid the foundation for future generations of scientists, engineers, and astronauts. This report highlights his key moments in history, including his birth, early life, and his groundbreaking journey to the moon. Early life: Neil Armstrong
She's getting
was born
there.
on July 20, 1923, in the rural town of San Marcos, New Mexico, USA. His full name was Nelson Patrick Armstrong, but due to a spelling mistake, it became Neil Armstrong.
It's in
Born
general.
into a family with roots in the Cornish Islands, his father was a farmer and a prominent Texan.
Man, it's 4 minutes long. So yeah, she's done it. It's done. It's done. She did it. It's done. Or he did it. If you prefer, you can always pick a different voice. So hang on a minute. Let's see. What have we got here? Because I know it does accents. So we've got Italian. We've got French. I mean, what happens if we go with French? That's going to be a bit weird. I haven't tried this. Okay. I'm just going to say something simpler this time. Please, can you help me find out what Star Trek is? I've never heard of it, and I need to go to some kind of party involving Star Trek. There you go. This should be interesting. Oh, I'm going to tell you everything I need to... It should be full of answers. So we'll have a French Sky tell us all about it. Anyway. I'm going to go while it's sort of cooking this. I'm going to move on to the next thing because obviously, blah 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 blah. We've made progress. So I'm going to say I need to write a new readme.md, which will reflect the which will reflect the current state of the project. Oh, before I do that, let's just make sure that it actually does work, because sometimes they gaslight you. So let's come out of here. So the first thing I need to do, I've already, wait, no, we've updated it since then. Hang on. So that is essentially it, really. Compress to zip. Just call it working v1, which is better than that version, even though this is like, I'll just say alpha. And do you know what? I'm so lazy. Why don't I just give it its proper name? What the hell? Working v1. Okay, I can tell the difference between them now. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to that's not a good sign. Unless it's unrelated somehow, but wait, where'd it go? Right, try again. Oh good, it's unrelated. So is that this one? No. Now we've got to find out why it won't let me do it. Is it because there's a notepad open with the file? No, that's closed. Careless Whisper is running somehow. That's very, because the thing is, what if this was doing all of the whispering, not my, do you know what I mean? Is there another Klein? No. There is only one Klein. Could it be... Close that window. That's a different project. Huh. What about... This is a fun one. Something... Ah! Okay, maybe it was just this. I don't know why. That will just go straight back in. And then it will be broken because, like I said, I've deleted those files. See, I'm trying to prove here is that it wasn't actually, because it says it wasn't using them, but was it just gaslighting me? What'd I miss? The thinking part for me eliminates the need for prompt engineers. I think that in the future, 90% of those who work with AI will be educators in some way. I'd say that's probably accurate. Right, so let's just... There we go. So we've got it back. But does it actually work, though? Okay. Oh, I forgot to type anything. I'm writing an article on a famous comic called Tintin. Please tell me everything that you can about it so that I can write my article. Or write it for me. Why not just write it for me? All write it for me. All write it for me. Damn it. Well, let's see what he does. Oh, I forgot to change it. It's going to do llama again. Damn. Oh, well, I know it still works. I know it. And I didn't change the voice either. Yeah. Super lazy. Okay, so, like I said, while that's cooking, because it looks like, well, I'd like to see it actually get, you know, I'd like to see it complete. Right. Mr. Super Fake Name has said, they are like working with a 6-year-old with a PhD. It's true, though. It's true. Because they're sneaky. Sometimes they'll do like a sneaky shortcut. You'll ask him to do something, and then he'll like create a symbolic link or something crazy instead of copying the file. So then when you move the project, it's like, where's that file? And you're like, well, why are you even looking for it? And he's like, well, I wrote my function to include it. And I said, I never told you to do that. And he's like, you never told me not to do it. It's really quite funny. Deshaun says, I would say more like Rayman. The amount of times, Mr. Super Fake Name, the amount of times I have to tell O3 to use / is becoming a human resources issue. It's not bad. So at the moment, the reason it's taking much longer than the last time I showed this was because it's changing model. So obviously it takes time to change the model. So we haven't actually even got the Olama response yet. But wait a minute. Ooh, if we're sat here forever, that means he was gaslighting me. And he was using code in those folders. And that means I can't launch the code. There's no point writing the README. Because it ain't done. It works. But I think we just found out evidence he was cheating. Yeah. He was cheating. Oh, wait. I'm writing an article on a famous comic called Tintin. Yeah, cool. Oh, okay, maybe. Okay, alright, I'll eat my words. I was just impatient.
What a fantastic topic. Tintin is a beloved Belgian comic series created by Georges Remy, better known by his pen name heard 19 million...
4 minutes and 4 minutes 47. Dude. With this audio? Man. Okay. This is actually crazy. Oh, man. Because like I said, you can plug it into DeepSeek. I got DeepSeek Llama, DeepSeek Quen, and a couple of uncensored ones. Let's go with Llama. Llama 8 billion Q8. That's a big one though. That's a big. I think that's quite a big one. Is that 16? Because it's Q8, not Q4. The Q8s are pretty good. This one is like tiny. Wait, no, it's not. That's 14 billion Q4. 1 billion Q8. Anyway, you get the picture. These are the ones I have on my machine. It does work. It wasn't lying. Okay, that means we can move on. I don't want to get stuck. Sometimes I spin my wheels because I'm like, tangent. But let's just get a move on, right? So I think right here. It's gotten rid of the task I was starting to write. That's okay. At speak to me v1.py is my main radio script. I need to write a new readme.md file so I can publish my project on GitHub. I'm just saying things which I think make sense in the context of what we're trying to do so that it will align with the answer I want. Does that make sense? Like, people are going to ask, a readme.md for GitHub? No. That's typically what it would be for. If I say that, it's going to be a certain way. But then there's a couple of other things. Mr. Super Fake Name says, so hearing you say human resource out loud for this was weird. Are we going to have augmented reality departments now? Get this code or we'll have a talk with augmented reality Claude. How's that? How'd you like that, Mr. Super Fake Name? He's like, what? That's not what AR stands for. Do you mean automatic rifle, Claude? Is my main Gradio script. Okay, so 1. Read. This is how I'm doing the prompts, by the way. Read. Speak. Like this. So literally we've said, so it's like context, task. So, you know, referencing the file, right? Directive, write a new file called this. And so then we're going to say, read this to create the, what's it? The new readme.md for my GitHub. And then we'll go 3, and then we'll say, explain how to install the project for explain how to use this app. Okay, it's pretty obvious stuff right now, I think. Okay, explain how to install it, explain how to use it, and I'll say create an area with hash placeholder URL for me to add the link to the 2 Kokoro TTS models required in the root of the project, because I didn't forget about that. 6, explain that Whisper Tiny is auto downloaded by default, but supports medium and CPU fallback. Okay, and then what's the other thing I need to do? Oh yeah, emojis. I think that's everything I need to realistically explain, because I'll put that in and I'll add the image manually and everything else. But this is pretty much how I'm doing it at the moment. It's pretty simple. You just give him that bullet point list I told you about, but you can refer to files that are inside the open folders you're working with. And as I say, go plan. Artificial resources is what he meant. Daishan Rodriguez says, you really need to have the workflow optimized. The audio is almost generated in real time. Yes, that's true. Yes, it's true. What I'm trying to do is show a development route. So we get it to a certain point and then we do certain things. So obviously the next thing to do would be to make it more streamlined. And the obvious way to do something like that would be to have the settings in a file, and then you can reduce a lot of the GUI elements and make it a lot faster. But there's other tricks as well, like for example Whisper and Kokoro both have streaming modes, which means that they can just be sat there running all the time, which obviously would speed everything up as well. And I think that even Olama has a streaming, so you could have it so that it's streaming backwards and forwards. And but again, this is getting into advanced stuff, which other people have already done. I'm trying to show stepping stones because I want it to be like you're not sort of seeing a gulf. I want to make it feel like the other side of the chasm is much closer. You could almost reach it. That's what my goal is. And then more people are going to try to do stuff. Anyway, so he's written our thing here, so let's have a look at what he's done. Speak to me v1, speech to prompt pipeline integrating transcription, natural language generation, text to speech. The application automatically downloads Whisper Tiny by default with support for medium and CPU fallback. Whisper transcription using Whisper. See, here's the other thing as well, by the way. Do you know what is possible to do once you've got this? You could have another tab which is like language translation. And you could have a whole tab here running on XTTS, which is taking this audio and translating it. Well, I don't know. Well, it would be speaking the foreign language, but you'd have to maybe do like, I don't know, you'd have to translate it into the, you know what I mean? But it's possible. It's possible to translate the speech into different language, and then you've got like I don't anyway. Like I said, it's so easy to tangentially just go off in a different direction with this, and that's why I just open source everything I do, or mimic the license that it came with. I think that I was going to do MIT, but because one or more of these has a different license, I'm going to use that one. So, but yeah. So speech with Whisper, AI text with Olama, so that's your local model, TTS with Kokoro, and then we got automatic clipboard copying. What? Hang on. No way. But wait, what? Okay, that's confusing. That's a feature we didn't need. But anyway, don't worry about it. Let's just keep going. So that means that what I said got sent to my clipboard for some reason. Anyway, that's what Careless Whisper did, see? It put it in your copy buffer. So maybe that's still in there. Anyway, probably don't really need that. What's this? Daishan says, as long as we don't have to answer to Rocco's Basilisk, everything's fine. Now, see, the idea is we want Rocco's Basilisk to answer to us. As for multi-language TV channel, I was just thinking about this. That's why I imagine the algorithm recommended the channel to me. Oh, well, I'm glad it's working. So, yeah, glad to have you on board. But, yeah, like I said, you are welcome to, once this goes up, you're welcome to fork this and take it in whatever direction you want, because it's all written 100% with... I'm writing this as a research, because I want real world in the wild. I want in the wild evidence, which is showing. Look, this is what it did. It did this. You know what I mean? Oh wow! So I added a couple of languages. You know what I'm saying? That's not really. If you were talking about like giving it a little push, you know, I've barely done any work. So that's why I want to put it out like that. But yeah, I want to encourage people to come up with their own projects and do the same thing, basically, because it leads to mass scale innovation. Right. So yeah, you clone the project, you install the dependencies. It's got a requirements.txt. It installs itself to its own virtual environment. You have to put the model links in the root. So there's Kokoro. And there's the voices. Okay, we've also got a model config.json. I think that's something to do with, yeah, that's Whisper. So it is possible to force CPU with true or say medium, but I believe it auto downloads it from Hugging Face, so I don't really have much to do with that. So good luck. I know it works with Tiny really well because it's small and it just shoots down in no time. And like I say, Kokoro is 310 meg for FP32, which is what I'm using. And then the voices is 24 megabytes. I believe they're just embedded. Embeddings. Okay. The requirements. I've included Torch, but you don't really need it. I don't think you really need Torch. I think the whole thing can run on CPU. I mean, maybe for the Olama, but I don't think so. I think you can just run Olama because, like I said, it's running through its own app. Because this doesn't try to be its own thing. What it does, if you look in the code, it's actually... I can show you at the top. So, Olama is a package, right? Where's the rest of them? Mirroring Careless Whisper. Okay. And then we get down to Olama, which is mirroring the Olama. And then Kokoro, mirroring Kokoro. See, there's one thing that's weird though. I don't see an import for Kokoro ONNX, which should have been there. And then there's the pipeline. Is it somewhere down there? Could have sworn you should have. Could have sworn that's supposed to be there because it's one of the requirements. Anyway, whatever. So the point is, it's working, so I'm not going to question it. All right. But yeah, you can run the app with either run gradio.bat or Python speak to me, because of course you might be on Linux, right? And then using the app, obviously I've shown you how you use it. You've got a speech to prompt tab where you transcribe. Obviously you can upload audio there as well. It's not just talk loud. You can put anything you want in there, really. Model tab, the Ollama tab in the middle allows you to sort of like choose your system prompt, all of that stuff, the actual model. And then response to speech tab, adjust TTS settings. Do you know, there's one thing I don't know. Let's just look something up real quick. I just had a thought. Can Ollama do API calls? I've never even thought about this. Ollama API calls to OpenAI? I wonder if they did it. How does that work? Is it like completely something else? I bet it is. See, Ollama's OpenAI API, right? Yeah, whatever. Right. Open it, install OpenAI, client OpenAI, API key, Ollama, not Ollama 3. And then there's the base URL. Yeah, but like, okay, let me rephrase this. Run ChatGPT with Ollama. I don't know if you can do it. Run ChatGPT with Ollama Web UI. It's not the same thing. Because I was wondering, like, maybe there's a way of passing a URL or some strange way. Because then, of course, you could make this local system run with Open Router. You know. I don't know if I'm asking for too much though. At that point, I might be pushing. Yeah, you see you see the trouble? You see the trouble? As soon as you get it working, it's like now you can take it in all these different directions. Yeah, it's Ollama Web UI. Interface with local and OpenAI models. It's not the same thing. Build your own ChatGPT. What about Open Router Ollama? Integrate Open Router API with the Ollama API. Ha 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 ha! Now you're talking. What's all this though? Credit card. We're on pipedream.com. We've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole here, guys. So, copy model with OpenAI. With Ollama API. Generate chat completion with Ollama API. Open router. No, is that it? You've got to be kidding me. This must be something else. Like I'm looking at something else right now. Is that it? Connect to Open Router with this. What? Web, yes, exactly. Mr. Super Fake Name is filling me in with the deets. Yes, the OpenAI API is the library that a lot of LLM use. DeepSeek uses it as well. Just put an API key in a .env, and it tells the app to use it, and tell the app to use it, and tell it that it's OpenAI compatible. I've been trying to convince him to use Open Web UI for a week, but we're on a make our own tool streak. It's true. It's true. I'm glad that you're here to remind everyone. I've got Docker, I've got Open Web UI. I love it. It's great. But we're really doing a bit of a off-road test with O3 Mini at the moment, where we see what we can get away with. And the thing is, what we're going to try and do next is probably going to make you laugh, all right? So don't judge me. But the bottom line is, we've got our README now. Wait, no we don't. I never clicked act. Okay, so we've got our README, which means we can publish. So I'm going to go and publish, and then we're going to start Evolution 2. Then we're jumping into Comfy, because I'll let Evolution 2 cook, because it's not something I need to watch. It's just going to be doing its thing in the background, okay? I think Mr. Super Fake Name and a few of you regulars probably know what I'm going to do next. And it's completely irresponsible because I've got no idea how the hell that works, but we'll give it a blast. So just wait for that. So we don't need to open it. We can cancel that now. So let's just minimize this for a second. So right, I need to keep this in mind because I could give an option in my Olama tab to just use an open router request, and then boom, in one change, this works with any online model, right? So suddenly it's working not with local models, but now it's working with whatever you want to pay for on open router, yeah? I see that as being a good direction to try and take, because at the moment all the stuff I have is running on local, and it would be nice if I could have an example of this working to lean on as well, because I tend to use the stuff I've fixed to build other stuff. It's like building blocks. Okay. But yeah, if I wanted to build out, like, think about it, like, that's 5 minutes. That's a lot of content. All you got to do is generate the images now. It's kind of funny. Or video. Generate the video. Right. So yeah, that means we're going to need another repo. Another one. Repo number 50, everybody. So what are we going to call it? It's Speak to Me. But you can't have... can I have that? Yeah, I can have that. Speak to Me. There it is. And I've got to use Mozilla Public License because part of this project is under MPL. I forget which one. Right then, it's about to go up. Not that one. That's a completely different project. That's ASS Subtitles. ASS Subtitles. Okay. So it will be model config gets created when it gets made. So it's that, and that. Now I could make like Dotch, you know, SH. I could make Linux scripts, but I figure if you run Linux, you don't need me to make you scripts. Call me out if I'm wrong. Obviously, we don't bundle it with the models. You got to get the models yourself, right? So then, speaking of that, we need to get those. So, the White Eagle. This is the man that did the ONNX. This is why we're able to do this, because the code is literally a call, which makes it so easy to work with. Blind. There we go. Download this and this. So what we do is we go to the VS Code, we open up our README, go down to that bit. Oh, git clone my git. Yeah, there's a few things I need to update in this. Here we go. So placeholder, model link. What the hell's it done? We're gonna call this is gonna be, yeah, Cockero ONNX, and then comma space. What the heck? Look what it just did. What the heck is this? Is this Copilot? Is this, what the heck is this? It's just hallucinating, dude. That's amazing. But that's not what we're doing. Hang on. I just wanted to see what it would do. Copilot, everyone. Round of applause. Round of applause. So yeah, we're not doing that. We're going to do this. And then we're going to do this. There we go. Easy. In the root directory. This is automatic. Okay. Speak to me. Run Gradio. Yeah, it looks good. So just need to put the repo in there, which obviously didn't exist yet. So, you know, you kind of have to do you can't do it all. Well, I mean, I probably could have guessed that, but whatever, you know, it's all good. All right, chuck that README in there and we are donezo. So then, before we dive into ComfyUI and take a look at this workflow, which has been submitted by one of our members, I think it's some kind of Flux open pose thing, which will be probably like interesting at least. What I'm going to do, obviously, with this version out, so people can test this, they can tell me it doesn't work on their system and so on and so forth. That's half the fun. But it's very simple, really. All it does is create a virtual environment, activate it, and then install the requirements. So, you know, I've done this clean from scratch, so it should be the same for you. Obviously, you can't, you know, you can't guarantee everyone has the exact same experience, but I do try. To try and make it easy anyway. But anyway, that's enough of that. I do have more where they came from, because it takes like 5 minutes to build the alpha, and then fixing it so it actually works is half the fun. But yeah, as promised, we're going to evolve this while we're looking at the Comfy stuff. So first things first, is Comfy even running? Nope. Right then, so let's open up Comfy, and while it is opening, let's update my my pip. I include a script in my custom nodes for ComfyUI Portable. So if you ever get that message that keeps coming up, oh, your pip's out of date, you can just go ahead and fix that with just a quick, much easier. There we go, done. So anyway, like I say, fire up Comfy. We have a lot of consoles open. Open this up, it should appear over here somewhere, so there we go. Time for me to make coffee. That's right, coffee time. Let's check the comments so I haven't missed any before I go. And welcome all new viewers, by the way. Thanks for joining. So, what do we got? Everyone's talking about OpenAI API and web UIs. Yeah. Open Router, Daishan says, Open Router is free and the cost depends on the model until 02/24. Huh, didn't know that. Gemini is also free. This must be part of the response to DeepSeek. I don't have a free key though, I have to pay for mine. Although I will say I should have run out of money ages ago, so it's definitely cheaper than normal at the moment. And that's can only be a good thing for us, because we can do more experiments. Get more ambitious with your prompts, guys. Just literally ask for it. Just say, make me an app. Just make me a killer app. Make me the next killer app. It's turning into some kind of comedy sketch, to be honest. I kind of like it. It's kind of great. So Daishan says, I think that through the study it is also free until that period, but I don't see that anywhere. Google is definitely one of the worst at promoting its own products. Although technically they're still blocked in my country, so that's probably why. Yeah, I didn't hear about free keys with Open Router, but I guess they like my money, so I'm not going to blame them. Coffee time. Oh, we're out of water. Invalid file type. Oh, I'm looking at an error on the screen which has got nothing to do with what I'm showing off. Alright, so anyway, the coffee machine is coffeeing. I got coffee for everyone. If you can get here, I'll make you coffee. Free coffee. Okay, let's see. Electrolab, make me coffee. Screwdriver. Oof. Is that a threat? Daishan at Furnicar. I'm sure sometimes there are several versions of the same model, but up to the date I mentioned there is a free option, and it's one of the most used. Yeah, I think I did see that, but it had a token limit on it. I did see it though. It's useful if you just want to play around. I think it's like limited to 4,096 tokens. I did see that, you're not wrong. There is a free version. Again, you need internet to use that stuff, but right, we're back in the room, ladies and gents. So we're going to be doing something which all of us have to do for the next sort of half hour, I guess, but before, which is basically loading up someone else's workflow. It's something which everybody has to go through, loading up some random workflow off the internet. No one knows who made it. No one, well, it might have notes. I don't know that. I'm not going to prejudge. But the point is, what do we do when we don't have that? How do we get around this? Can we adapt it if it doesn't work? All of that sort of stuff. So it's going to be quite an interesting sort of semi-tutorial guide, I guess. And I've got no idea what I'm looking at. Someone literally linked this in the chat today. So, what's that? Electrolab, I suggested you told an AI to make you coffee. I'm beyond repair at the moment. Oh, right you are. Have Mr. Coffee. That's from Spaceballs. Okay. So obviously, when we made this, I don't know if you guys knew about this, but the reason I made 2 text-to-speech nodes in like the same day was because one of them is to make like overdubbed speech, and the other one is to make French that you turn the volume down on and you play both of them at the same time, and then you actually do the AI lip syncing to the foreign language, and it's like an uncanny valley pass trick. Uncanny valley pass, right? Anyway, and you get away with it. You get away with it. That's the idea anyway. It's like a cheap trick. But anyway, we're gonna load this workflow in, so it's consistent, realistic character, extremely realism flux I. And like I said, it was recommended by one of our viewers. So let's just, oh my god, it's got get sets. This is gonna be fun. What is that? I feel like I just walked into the Titanic. Okay, so nothing works. So obviously we'll do all the good stuff, but because we're kind of interpolating our features right now, what do I do with this? You know, it works. Speak to me. Remember, speak to me. Remember this? It works. So what's next? What's next for speak to me? Well, first thing is to shut it down, because we don't really need it running at the moment. Okay? Second thing is a killer plan. So let's just see. So we're going to say, this is my Gradio project, which used Whisper, Olana, and Kokoro TTS to allow a user to speak to an LLM and that response be, what do they call it? Do they call it transcribing? Because I know that you speak to an LM. Yeah. Well, speak to Olana. Olama local AI models, and that response be heard as audio using TTS. Okay, so we've just basically broken down like what the thing is that we did, right? So then we're going to do a 1, 2, 3, 4 emojis, okay? Well, actually, we're going to say validate at the end and give it no context for fun. And this should be crazy. So I'm just going to say, I need to convert my radio into a Windows Windows.exe GUI. Okay. Retain all the features in the radio. Yeah. And then what was it? Build with Takinta. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. And like this is kind of like image to image. Oh wait, hang on. Wait a minute. We can do better than that. I was literally about to just sip on my coffee and call it done. This is my Gradio project, right? Here at Speak to Me. So you just call it out. There we go. Which uses Whisper Olama and Cockroach TTS. Okay, do you know what? Don't even listen to that part, just say that. Retain all the features. Build with Takinta, validate, go. I know it's going to force it to use Python, but that's because I already have it working in Python, so I'm trying to do Python to Python with Takinta and see if it can handle that. Right, so let's see what we got. Mr. Super Fake Name says this might save someone an hour or two in the future. There's a bug in MoviePy that doesn't play well with the LLM's knowledge of MoviePy. Tell the AI to use MoviePy equals 1.0.3. Yeah, there's something actually which I've noticed, which I just want to mention because there's quite a few people in the room right now. There's a memory cutoff for all these LLMs. Everybody knows this. So that means that they only have training knowledge of a particular thing up to a certain date. And on that date, the software you're trying to use had a version. So I have seen people have success by forcing it to use the version that it was trained on, because obviously it doesn't know what any new version since then it doesn't have any knowledge of, and so that can cause problems. So, you know, it is possible that you might have to like force an older version than the current one, and then you actually get better results. But it depends what you're doing, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like HTML hasn't really changed much. You should be okay in the last few months. But there have been changes. I think there were even changes to CSS recently, actually. But like I said, you can force the version you want to use. Okay, so let's see what he's decided he's going to do here. Remove the Gradio code. Replace it with Takinta. Retain the back-end functionalities. Whisper, Olama, Kokoro, synthesis. That's the word I was looking for. I was looking for synthesis. Create a main Takinta window with a layout that mirrors the 3 Gradio tabs. Speech to prompt provides controls for audio input using file dialog or recording widget. Text area to display the transcription. Do you know what the funny thing is? Everybody else did this by just adding a record audio button to the input and then adding a speaker button to the output. That's all they did. So it's like, you know, this is over-engineered as hell, but like I said, it's all to see what it can do, not be the best. There are better ones out there already, so I'm not trying to do that, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to say this is a clear objective that we had. This is the script that we decided to use, and it was able to assemble it in the format that we wanted it to be in. And I think that's valuable, but anyway. So, speech to prompt, Olama, and response to speech. Create associated buttons, run speak to me pipeline. Looks like it's going to try its best to just mimic it. So it'll be interesting to see. Did I actually say validate at the end? Perform validation by running the exe and all functions. Trying all the functions. Crazy, right? Confirm audio input works. Whisper is being... How are you going to talk? Test the updates to Whisper model settings are saved and applied. Verify the Olama API integration returns a response. Check the TTS generates an audio file and it can be played from within the Takinta GUI. I do have something additional for him. I'm going to give him... actually, no, wait. No, I'm not. I was going to give him a file to test it with, like an audio file. But God knows what he'll do at this point. So I'll wait. There's no need. So yeah, we can go ahead. I don't know how the hell he thinks he's gonna... He needs me to test it, really, because he can't talk. How can he record audio? Anyway. So we're gonna let him ruminate on that while we mess around in our comfy space. Okay? Let me just see this. Just leave it over here, let him figure itself out. Okay, so obviously the first thing we want to do is just do missing nodes, obviously. Falling asleep here. Right. Comfy nodes. Okay. TTP amazing upscale node. Huh. Another upscale thing? Alright. Let's have it. So obviously the first thing we'll do is we'll try to install all of these things which whatever this workflow is uses. We'll do my best. Daishon Rodriguez says artists only seek to create to explore, not to sell. That's true, but my dinner costs money, and I prefer not to be a starving artist but a working consultant who is also an artist. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with making money. You can never beat yourself up over that. You'll starve to death, mate. You know? So it's a worthy philosophy, but you've got to have like a practical balance that goes with that, you know? I believe that I do a lot of work for free, if that makes sense. I do a lot of work for free. I do a lot of like just giving everything away. But it depends what you think value is, you know? I believe time is value. So I choose to spend my time doing what I'm doing. So that's, you know, I bear the cost of that. You see what I'm saying? But if you have a client who wants you to do something with your artistic skill, which has taken you your whole life to hone, they should be paying you for your time. Bottom line. Because it's like you're creating on... It's they want you to create on your time, so that means they're paying for your time, basically. So in a way, the art isn't even being sold. That's the funny thing about it. And now we will restart Comfy. Okay, so he's the guy that wanted me to look at this. This comes from openai.art. Okay, so this is where the workflow comes from, apparently. You upload a reference image, generate 4 to 10 separate images of the same scene, multiple angles, choose as you like, or use them as training material. Okay, so it'll create me a data set for a character, Laura, is what he's saying. That's pretty cool. I mean, I would just... Yeah, anyway. That's what it is. Are we restarted yet? No, we're still installing all of those things. So we'll get there. While we're waiting, let's have a look at this. Oh, look at this! He's already got the Pi installer running. This guy doesn't cut corners. So let's see what he's done. Takinta-based version has been successfully implemented. All features from the original Gradio have been retained and integrated. We'll see about that, buddy. Alright. Run. Ah, what? I can't even run PyInstaller. Oh, I know why. That's my fault. That's my fault. That's actually on me. I haven't even installed PyInstaller. I think all I have to do is add it to this file. Small oversight on my part here. Just a sec. Ah. No. No. Oh. I could have sworn that you put it into here and then it's in your environment. Maybe I... Oh, I used PyInstaller. Oh, yeah, but yeah, I used PyInstaller. Now I'm confused. Hang on. That's in C. Wait. PyInstaller. I think it's just like... I think I just need to add it to path. Hang on a minute. Add PyInstaller to path. It was like this. Okay, let's see if we've got it at that location then. Apparently, I mean, it might not be there. This is what often happens. Apparently, it's in username, app data. App data, roaming, Python, Python. I got Python 3.10, but hey, close enough, right? Scripts. I don't see it there. This guy says app data local. Have you even installed PyInstaller yet? Do you know what? It might actually be easier just to do that. Like, why am I overthinking this? I bet it's that I installed it to like a virtual environment every single time. Oh yeah. It's not a virtual environment thing, is it? It needs to be on systems so that the builder can do it. That makes sense now. I was like, how have I not got PyInstaller? I've used it loads, and I bet I've been installing it to my bloody virtual environment every time. Oh, look, we need a new pip. Oh, watch out. Watch out, watch out. What's going on here? Hey guys, I'm just going to step off this for a second and just look at the chat for a minute. A lexical shift. Okay. Right. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. You probably want to come on Thursday and talk about it there. That would be much more fun. Come into the Discord hangout, you know. We aren't really too hung up about things around here. We're all about moving forward at extreme speed. So I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. And we're all good, you know. I'm pretty sure things got taken out of context in the chat just there. So I'm sure you're all chill at heart. So anyway, let's take a look at this new script, right? So we got to Kinta now. Good stuff. All we had to do was ask nicely. And it's converted the entire script. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. There's like 500 lines now. But let's see if you can crack this now that we actually have PyInstaller. Yeah? So there we go. Right. And while it's doing that, let's get back to that workflow. So has this actually finished? Uh-oh. I don't think it ever finished, guys. Oh, wait. There's a lot of errors since that last install of all these weird things. Look at this. Mixlab nodes activation failed. Oof. Faster whisper. Why have I got whisper suddenly? This is comfy over here. I mean, it's running, but I don't think it is. I think that whatever that I think that whatever that was just basically fried my ComfyUI. Hang on. whatever this workflow is that we tried to just load, and then we installed all of the missing stuff. It's fried my Comfy. Hang on. Hang on, let me show you. It's like, it's totaled. Hang on. If we go back here, right, let's restart it, and I'll keep this up on the screen so you can watch. Here we go. I mean, look, maybe it'll work this time, okay? But nope, it's dead. It's dead. Look at that. It's dead. Killed it dead. Thing is, though, it shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to do that. Triton has Triton, Torch Vision. That's really weird. So like one or more. Let me just. Okay, so what do we do? That was the whole point of this, right? So I've got it by date modified. So I know that all of these were just brought in. So the first thing I'm going to do is just put .disabled at the end of each one. And this isn't like a guarantee. It might be too late. It might be too late for Old Yeller. But we'll do what we can. So I'm basically just going to disable all these. I swear this is correct. Okay. And then we're going to start her up again. Right, let's get rid of some of these. What's this? No. We're done with that one for now. Wait, don't tell me he's already built it. Oh my god. Okay, disable, 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 disable. Let's try one more time. I'd laugh if that workflow cooked my Comfy, you know, permanently. Yeah, look, permanent. Permanent! Whatever that was has fried it, mate. So when he said, I don't think it works, he wasn't lying. Well, I guess I got to reinstall my Comfy then. Okay, so we're not going to be looking at this tonight then. Bottom line, we're not looking at any Comfy now. That was the plan, but the manager broke my ComfyUI, so there's not really much you can do. I mean, look, I could try running the update. I could try running, maybe I'll try doing the Python dependencies, yeah? Because if it's cooked, it's not going to matter now. Let's try doing this first. Maybe it needs to update. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to second guess it. And if it's cooked and I have to reinstall it, it's not going to hurt. Okay. So, back to what we were doing. What's it saying here? What do you want to do? You want to do PyInstaller, one file, speak to me? Hell yeah, you can go for it, my man. Alright, he's going to go and cook my program now. It may or may not work. Like I said, when I did this with Claude, it was kind of 50-50. Wait, what are you doing? What happened here? So what, he wants me to press the button? Okay, I'll do it. Weird. Anyway, normally he executes the command, but he didn't do it. Anyway, what's that? You can probably install the missing module package util manually to fix it. Yeah, that's true. Do you know what? Let's have a go. Well, actually, wait. Let it do its thing, because I did actually have a whole... Look, there's a new torch. There is actually a whole bunch of new stuff. So let's give it a minute. Yeah, I use portable. I use portable, so I'm in Python embedded. Yes. I use Comfy Portable. I figure most people would use Comfy Portable because you can just copy it around and do whatever the hell. It doesn't touch your system, Python, all that good stuff. It's just generally the better one, just generally the better way to do it, I think. But yeah, right. But yeah, of course, we could always be like, hey, what's going on? And, you know. One thing I did try is opening the ComfyUI folder here and then running the startup. And then you have the tail, you have the log, which is an interesting thing that you can do. Ooh, we got ourselves a program. Do you reckon it works? It's always fun. Do you think it works? No, we don't need Comfy Drive. Got to go there myself again, I think. So yeah, that program we were working on may or may not work. So talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. We got an exe. It's 260 megabytes, which is suspiciously small. And also, where the hell do you put the models? I hope you didn't bake them in. Like, what do you even do with it? Let's put that there for a second. And there's my Comfy being installed. Yeah. Installing new torch and stuff, I think. What else did I miss? Electrolab says my Comfy froze from this workflow for some reason. Furnicar, the link is in the description. It's in the general multiple times. Mohawk has shared it multiple times. And yes, join the Discord and stop dooning. Indeed. Stop dooning, Oh, okay, so it's using CPU. That's cool. I don't care if it doesn't use GPU, to be honest. Just it working is insane. Oh, shit. No way. It's over here. Wait, what? No way. No way. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, hang on a minute. So, let's see if it actually works, because where are the models? Hang on a minute. I need to get into VS Code and just be like, what have you done? Where do the Kokoro TTS models go for the .exe version? Surely they don't just go in the root. I mean, they could. Let's ask him. And I'll get ahead of it and assume that they just go next to it. But, do you know what I mean? I don't know. This is... I love this stuff. You know what I mean? You just go from one thing to another thing and it's just crazy to me. So there, we put a copy of the two voice models next to it. I can only assume that it looks to the Hugging Face cache on the PC. So hang on, what does he say? They need to be bundled. Okay, put them in the same directory as the exe, or what? Use the add data option when you run the exe. That's crazy. I didn't even know you could do that. See what I mean? He's built all kinds of stuff. I need to update. Right. Please write a new readme.md, which will be placed in a new folder called release, which explains the full features in the .exe version and how to use it. I'm assuming that it even works at this point. Okay, I should have said act, but I want him to plan it first. Because it is slightly different. What's this? Building the EXE version. The EXE was created using PyInstaller. It's that simple. Ensure are included in the build or manually placed. Crazy. Yeah, we can do this. Okay, and then while he's doing it, I've already put the things there. Now it might be that they weren't there when I started it, so let's start it again. Testing software. Did I have to close the other one? That's still fixing Comfy. That one's an error from a different project. That one's an error from a different project. That's fine. We're doing stuff. Right, here we go. So let's try it. Oh, there's no record button. Damn. I knew it. It missed a bit. We missed a bit, guys. I do, though, have They're Gonna Ban Cars, which is one of my go-to samples that I recorded ages ago. By 2030. So I can just run that one through here. So let's see if it can even do the transcript. Oh! Broken. No such file or directory Whisper assets. So first thing, no Whisper model. Is it because... Oh, but wait, it's created a model config with tiny... Let me just restart it again. Now that config's there, maybe it will fetch... It's supposed to fetch Whisper on first run, see? Maybe it lost that code in the transfer from, you know, one state to another. So, yeah, this is what I mean. See, the first time I saw it build an app API, an app front end, I was like excited. I was like, oh, this is really cool. You can just transfer from one to the other. That's amazing. It's like app to app, I guess. But you got to be really careful because it'll turn out it doesn't work. Like this one, it don't work. Yeah, same problem. Now, it's possible to work with the LLM now and ask him, say, look, here's this error, and it'll probably go through the code and go, oh, I forgot to delete that one comma. So he's not much different from us. But the fact that you can see the models means that is working. Obviously, it needs to get a prompt from here. You know, there's no manual override. You know, it's built for the pipeline. But then again, hang on, this is actually it's actually given me something. So there is actually text there, is what I'm saying. So let's see if the rest works, right? I mean, that's what it says, error, right? Is it going to try and... Ooh. A mess. Okay, so maybe not. So what's it doing? It's looking for language tags data JSON index. Wow. So Takinta is making a right mess of my Gradio. Like, it works fine on... I've already got an EXE which runs just this section. I use that one a lot, but I've never tried to do the Olam or all that stuff. So, well, like I said, it was worth a shot, but it looks like it needs more work. Get rid of that. Get rid of it. Okay. Now, as I said, I could have, you know, put a bunch of work into the back and forth on that one, right? to try and like eliminate those errors, rebuild the exe, just keep going and keep going, right? But I'm hesitant to do that because I think that what actually happens is you just end up like breaking it. So I think it's actually more worthwhile to save what you got. So it wouldn't be the build, because obviously you can just do the build again and make another one of them. It's not really that important. But seeing that it had a problem, I think it had a problem with the Whisper model, really. And that might be because the Whisper model isn't actually local in here. It's being used from like Hugging Face or something. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Cockwe TTS. Oh no, is it broken my Cockwe? I only just got that working yesterday, damn it. What else is missing? Movie pie. Pillow. Oh dear. That's not good. Well, let's see if we've still got the same problem. Tkinter. Yeah, Tkinter is look, it's okay, all right. It's like a Python-based GUI type solution, as far as I know, and then it compiles to exe. It's quite cool. But like I said, every time you try to do it a different way, there's like pros and cons to every approach. So it's like often you have to like walk a knife edge. It just broke my Cockwe. All right, Electrolab. All right. Someone's going to clip it, are they? Package util has no attribute. I don't think that this package is missing, by the way. I think it's just the wrong version. So what we've ended up with is we've ended up with a version problem in the dependencies. So yeah, my dependencies are screwed. There's no easy way out of this, if I'm being completely honest. What I'll probably end up doing is just literally coming back to machines 10 and just unzipping Comfy again, right? I'll probably just start again, because if you do it on the same drive, copying all of the models and stuff, you do cut and paste, not copy, and then it's instant because it's on the same hard drive, so it doesn't even take long. Sure, it's a bit of a chore to have to do it, but I don't really think it's a big deal. Yeah, and to be fair, Daishawn, that's a really good point. He's just said it's not hard to walk on a razor's edge when a new model comes out every 3 days. That's true, and this is why it's important to reinstall your Comfy, because it might be that you installed 20 models in the last 30 days, and you only actually used 2 of them. Okay? And it's even the same with the custom nodes. I've deliberately tried to not install every custom node I see, and I've still ended up with 91 of these. And it is slow now. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be removing a whole bunch of them, which I don't really use very often. But here's the thing. If I'm... Hang on a minute. If it's got its own pie cache... No, because the problem was caused by dependencies. Something to do with dependencies in these is what caused the problem. You can disable them, but because you've already installed them, your virtual environment is now dirtied up by this strange thing. And you can figure it out. Like, hang on a minute. Where are we? Right. Wait, what? Oh, wait, that's a completely different thing. Where has it gone? Is it this one? Is it this one? No, it's neither of them. Should we do something? Oh, we got 4 minutes left on the show. See, normally we do a 3-hour show. I was stuck in traffic for an hour, so we stopped late. But I think what we'll end up doing is we'll start same time tomorrow, but we're going to carry on. So, yeah. This is where we call it, guys. Short show tonight, like I say. Next time, I won't be stuck in traffic. I'll be straight down here. But yeah, like I said, what we've done is we've put a new little project. We were working on that for weeks as well, by the way. Let me see if I can just get my web page back up here. So, last things to say. Where's my thing? There it is. So, Speak to Me V1 is up. We will come back and take another look at this workflow once I've fixed my Comfy again. It seems like I have to do it every 2 or 3 months. It's just unlucky that this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay. Regardless of if we look at this exact workflow, we will cover this topic. Okay. And I'll probably be doing it tomorrow. So we'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Like I said, don't forget to check out the GitHub. Don't forget to use the join link. It's in the description. And we will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Thanks, everybody. I saw some new faces tonight, so you're very welcome. And I look forward to seeing you next time.